Welcome to the Board Trustee meeting, regular meeting Tuesday, August 21st, 2014. Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Oscar Brown. Trustee Payton.
Here.
Trustee Griffin.
Present.
Trustee Rudez.
Here.
Trustee Brown and Mary Brown.
Here.
And Mayor Covey.
Present. All please join me in the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes dated July 22nd. Is there a motion?
So moved.
The minutes. Second. Thank you. Rule of thumb. And second by Trustee Rudez. Any questions, comments? Yes, sir.
Yes, Mayor, on page 3 of 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth paragraph down where it's referencing my comments. One of the things that I would like added that was discussed, I tried to get Trustee Oscar Brown Jr. to give us a commitment as to when we will get the minutes for the Legislative and Operations Committee, and he was not committal related to that.
Okay.
Are there any others? Roll call, please.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
And Mayor Covey.
Both sides. Okay. Reports from elected officials.
I'll give a mayor, if I may right now. Okay, I'd just like to give a brief summary on the.
Oh, sorry. No, that's a no.
Are we out of order? Okay, I'd just like to give a brief summary on the National League of Cities Leadership Summit, which I attended in Santa Clara, California. Some of the topics that were discussed were personal leadership development, innovation, new ways of thinking for rapid innovation in government, innovation in city government, how to think outside the box and so to make mistakes, but to give your best effort for the communities, working hard, thinking ahead, planting the seeds for the future. Don't worry about the growth as we currently see it as today, as of right now. And there was a lot of things I really realized on how University Park does not use all of the things that we could to be a sustainable committee, such as solar heating and energy, and how we waste a lot of things in our town. So you'll be seeing a lot of things that may be coming in the Illinois Commission on how we can improve our efficiency as a community. And that's a brief summary, and I'll put the rest of it on the website. I'm kind of ill tonight, so that's it, Mayor.
I want to piggyback, but I want to touch on two more items that were discussed at the National League of Cities. One was, I believe the deputy mayor of Philadelphia was there, and he had an apps. It's an apps where like a lot of times now we get complaints because people can't get through. The phone rings a lot at the up at Village Hall. What this app does is just like an answering machine. It takes the calls, and so if they call, someone can always leave a message, and we have a person that will get back to them on the matter. It also has a follow-up app to that. So I'm looking into that. They're supposed to be contacting me sometime this week with the information, but as soon as they get it to me, I will give it to Earl Bolden, IT, and Mr. Lemire. Another thing We talked about when we was there, we went to Google, and that's in Mountain View, California. We went on a tour of Google, and they're looking to partnership with different communities. Mark Stanasic, I'm waiting to draft a letter to him. He knows the people who we can get in contact with. Today we went, all the VPs were very busy. We couldn't get in and talk to them. But this person will help us make contact with Google. So we're looking to partnership with Google to do some things for the village. Also, when we were there, I was fortunate enough to be picked. We drove in a self-driving automobile. They had, mostly it's set up for the blind or people with disabilities, but it's an automobile that actually drives itself. What they did was they had a laptop. They put in all the outline of the city, and they programmed everything in. And the car, it still has a few little things they got to work out, but it did just like a person that would do behind the wheel. And we looking to for that also. So that is my report.
Thank you. The manager's report, well, he's absent, he's on vacation. So we'll go past that. Sir?
I did have one little something.
Oh, sure.
Just for, and I'm sure everybody has been waiting for this. For the consolidated election for 2015, which will be held on April 7th, 2015. Nominating petitions will be available beginning September 23rd in my office. The filing period is from December 15th through December 22nd. So these packets will not be available until September 23rd. The seats that will be voted on in this municipality is the mayor, the clerk, and 3 trustees. And also, Cook County Clerk David Orr has declared September 23rd as citywide voter registration day. So it would be great if we could expand that out here. So I am extending an invitation to all of the deputy registrars who are interested in perhaps doing a village-wide voter registration drive on September 23rd to please contact me and let me know. And we can schedule it because, you know, as I say all the time, your vote is your voice, but you can't vote if you're not registered. So all of you deputy registrars, join us and let's make this a village-wide event. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Madam Mayor, first forgive my tardiness. I had a slight incident with a pair of pants. I would like to make a motion to reconsider the minutes. I did have one correction, or at the very least, a clarification. I was also informed about something that Trustee Payne said. I want to address that issue.
So
Mr. Jones?
I'm sorry?
Since there's already been voting. You will not vote.
Okay, that sounds good. Do you have a second?
No, I'm saying the question, can we do that?
Well, motion, Sure, go ahead.
I wonder if it's, is that legal?
I'll defer
Okay.
for legal answer. I'll defer to
Okay, now.
A motion for reconsideration can be made at the same meeting in which the action is taken. So if he wishes to make a motion for reconsideration, he can make make it. If it's seconded, then we would call for a vote.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Rudez. Question? Roll call.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Nay.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez. Trustee Larry Brown.
Both sides.
And Mayor Covington.
I'd like to thank my fellow board members for allowing me to do this, and again, I apologize for my tardiness. My correction comes on page 7 of 11 on the July 22nd, 2014 minutes. It says, third paragraph, trustee Oscar Brown states that the head tax ordinance is not an incentive to hiring, and that he feels that members should give some consideration to hiring village residents. I'm not sure if I said exactly this, however, I do want to say I view the head tax ordinance as an incentive to hire local residents. You have, every business there has a financial incentive to do local hiring. Now, I'm not sure if I said this exactly, but if I did say this exactly, this is what I meant to say. I meant to say that it is a financial, the industrial park businesses do have a financial incentive to hire local in a reduction of the rate. And I also view that as an incentive to businesses to hire locally. And the purpose, in my opinion, of the head tax is to serve two purposes, both for revenue that's sorely needed for various projects around the village, and second, as an incentive to businesses to hire locally in the form of a reduced rate for revenue that we need.
Excuse me. That all of that is your correction to the minute? So
No,
I need you to write.
All right. I will write
Oh,
something.
take out
if
the
that's
word
what-
not.
you can take out the word not.
Okay.
And I'm not disputing anything that you've recorded as the minutes. I might have actually said this, but I do want to clarify that because it was voted on and it's something that can be said, hey, it's not.
So basically, it's the word not.
Yes.
You feel it
It
is
is.
an incentive to hire. Okay.
And I just want to explain that. So, but take out the word not, and that would be, okay, it's sufficient. The second thing is, I believe trustee Payton had added to the minutes that I was unable to put down a date certain as to when the minutes for the legislative a date certain to the Legislative and Operations Committee. This is true, however, I can commit to a mid-September date for all the minutes in regards to the Legislative and Operations Committee. So I want to let the people know that the Legislative and Operations Committee has nothing to hide. We're doing excellent work, and we'll be more than happy to supply anyone with minutes that we have as soon as they are available, which should be, I'm not committing to a date, sometime in the middle of September.
Yes, sir.
Point of order. This, two things. Well, first of all, if the clerk says the minutes reflect what was said at that meeting, then that's what the minutes should reflect.
Right.
Okay? Not what he meant to say, but what was actually said. And he has plenty of opportunity, and he has had the opportunity to explain that, what his position is in some detail. The second thing is that this is a reconsideration of the minutes itself, not an explanation of what he will plan to do. There are other opportunities in the agenda for him to explain that he will be able to provide the minutes for the Legislative and Operations Committee at a future date.
So as it stands, the only change would actually be the word not.
Actually, it wouldn't be not, because that's not what he said.
I'm not saying that.
I'm not sure.
Well, we can look at the tape, review the tape. Okay. All right. Anything else?
There's a motion to second.
Yes. Roll call. There's other questions if anyone else had any. Thank you. Roll call.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez.
Both sides, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Both sides.
And Mayor Coe.
Aye.
Madam Mayor, we're still on reports of elected
Yes, sir.
officials.
Well, no, I'm sorry, we had moved on. It was manager's report.
Oh,
We had moved on. Okay, sorry. Mayor's report. I apologize to the audience and our residents that last board meeting, we were lack of attendance here, so we did not have a board meeting. And we will be addressing the bills payable for 2 weeks here on our agenda tonight. Make sure we pay our bills. It was lack of quorum and it wasn't recorded, so we usually record it to let people know that we did not. So instead of people calling and saying, why did we have a board meeting, it was because it was lack of a quorum. So I apologize for that. Friday was also something that should have been recorded because it was a special meeting, and I wanted so noted in the record that I did speak to the village manager and told him we should have it recorded, and he told me today that I was absolutely right. Why it was not recorded, I do not know. And he apologized. Because what we had Friday, we had the medical marijuana people here. There were 4 people here, and was it 5? Okay, there's 5 and 1 more pending. And according to the law, and I was trying to abide by that it had to be an open forum and everyone had their time to come up and make presentations and have the audience there to review it as well and have their opinions. So unfortunately, well, we will have the minutes to that for you to view and have your opinion as well, because legally we have to do that. And I will share that with everyone. It will be on the website, and I'll make sure that there's copies made for anyone as well. Let you know that. GSU, we're happy to say now University Park is a college town, yay. We had the ribbon releasing, that was Friday as well. We also last week welcomed our new superintendent of 201U, Mr. Cunningham, for the school district. We're really happy, and you'll see that, they viewed that, they had that all on tape. And there was I participated in Bud Billiken Parade with a few of our elected officials, and then we had with the South Suburban Regional Black Mayors, we were represented well there. I had a meeting with our senator and our state rep and our governor, and they were talking about some of the things our clerk was referring to as far as your voting and how important it is. All the mayors were giving a folder. They were given a folder, and it tells you your proximity, your population, and your registered voters. And excuse me, could we please turn off our cell phone meeting? Thank you. And it was pathetic to some of us. We have over 4,000 registered voters, and last election we only had a little over 1,000 that voted. And the importance of that, so many people have fought and died for that, and here we're letting it go. It's very important and imperative that we do that, because it also reflects on the grants that we get, the people that will come and cater to us, do anything for us, because of that vote. You got 4,000 votes, that's an impact. And they will give us a little bit more attention, if anything. But when you have a little over 1,000, that's not good. So we need to really hit the street and make people know November's election is very, very important. We need to come out and vote. Not only in November, any votes are very, very important. Also, an announcement that if Comcast is having something new going back to school, if any of the people in here at University Park or families that you know are on the lunch program, Comcast has a $9.95 or $9.99 program that you get internet at that cost. So if you need to know more about it, go on the website of Comcast.net and inquire about it. And that's one. And I will be attending a class on leadership at Prairie State next week for 2 days on leadership as well at Prairie State College. And you will get a report on that. Committee and commissions reports.
I have a report, Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir.
From the Legislative and Operations Committee, can commit to a date certain in regards to the minutes, and should be sometime around mid-September, around September 15th. And I'll make sure trustees can get a copy of the minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. Reports of the officers. Department updates.
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Trustees, and residents. Just wanted to let the residents know that school is definitely in, and if you have a 6th, 7th, or 8th grader, or if you know someone that has a child that is interested in joining a new program called REACH, the program is reaching and empowering young people. We will be doing homework lab, cooking, personal care, interview skills, budgeting, organizing, and time management. Feel free to call our office at 708-534-6456. Just wanted to let the board know, as well as Brassy Lane Playground has completely been finished. The only thing we're waiting on is for the Public Works Director to contact ComEd so we can get the lights turned on, and then we're going to put a sign over there to let the young people know what time the park is closed. So we're also still working on the netting. So I highly recommend if you ride by there and take some pictures, and you can see all the kids. They're super excited about that. And last but not least, we still are open at Regal Farm. We encourage the residents to come by and visit our python, which is 12 feet long. And last but not least, I forgot one more announcement. Tomorrow, which is Wednesday, the senior citizens will have their fun day here at 90 Town Center at 12 noon. We encourage the residents to come out. If you're 55 and over, it's a donation of $5, but we encourage you all to attend. Thank you.
55 and over, yeah. It's free. Clerk Jones said, what's free? 55 and over. 55 and over. 55. Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and board members and members of the community of University Park. I would like to encourage every 16 to 21-year-old who is in search of employment to contact my office. To take advantage of a program that is being sponsored or hosted by the Illinois Department of Human Services. It is a program that, as of now, will only last until September 19th, but I'm told that that there is a great possibility that it may be extended throughout the year and possibly until next, for the full school year. It's a program that's called the You Can program, which hires you between 16 and 21 for part-time employment. They are paid a decent wage. I think it's $9 an hour. We can employ those individuals who are interested in any and every department in the village. It is at no cost to the village. And it's directed towards getting work experience and income to our young people. I would encourage you very much to take advantage of that. Also, on September 6th of this year, 2 Saturdays, I think, from now, there will be a function that is, I still can't recall the name of it. It escapes me every time I'm here, but anyway, it's called a Black Party. It's essentially a house music party that will be conducted at the golf course. I believe the times. I believe the times are somewhere around 8 or 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. I will encourage you to keep an eye on the various marquees and come out and enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Excuse me, what's the age?
I'm sorry.
What's the age for that?
The age for what?
for the event from 9 to 5, 9 to 2?
Oh, I would imagine that's because it's at the golf course and there will be alcohol served 21 and over.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Any others? Okay. General public? This time we have general public.
We allocate 30 minutes to the general public. We ask everyone to limit their remarks to 3 minutes. We will let you know when the 3 minutes are up. If we do not get to you tonight, you can give us your information in writing, or we will put you on the list for the next meeting.
Thank you. First person being Ms. Neil Palmer. Yes, ma'am. Please, so we can hear you.
Okay. My name is Nelvenia Talmare. I live in Russet Oaks Townhomes. I also, as a resident of Russet Oaks, we have an association. But I spoke to my association several times about this matter, and they have done nothing. So I thought, since this is a community, a small one at that, you guys should know what's happening down on that end. We have 2 residents, one at 800 White Oak Lane and one at 805 White Oak Lane. The one at 800 White Oak Lane, it's a 3-bedroom home. They have about 15 people in it. The one at 805, he's selling drugs out of there. I've told this to my association, and like I said, they've done nothing. They claim they don't even know how to serve these people with letters saying that they're doing things they shouldn't be. As renters, they have an obligation to read the rules of the association and to comply with them. They have not done that. These people are out on the street all day and all night. They don't entertain in their homes. They bring all their company outside. I have gone to the police department. I have asked them to please come in our neighborhood if they can during the evening and in the afternoon. They did that for a few weeks and then they stopped. But I have called the police so many times about disturbance at these 2 addresses. And like I said, my association isn't doing anything. So I would hope that you, as University Park trustees and the mayor, would help me with this problem. It's getting worse. I've complained about this for the last 1.5 years, and nothing has been done. I've even went to the code department because of so many people at 800. These people are still here and they're still operating like they have no kind of sense at all. I can't even go on my patio after 11 o'clock in the morning because they have just infiltrated the whole back section there. So I would appreciate it if someone would do something about this for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Can I get your name, please?
Excuse me?
Is that new?
Neil, P-O-L.
Nelvenia Talmare.
I haven't been here for. Okay.
Yes, Ms. Tillman, have you talked with trustee Elizabeth Williams?
She's the president of our association. She has done nothing.
Really?
And when I go to the meetings to talk to her about it, which I've been to several meetings, she talks to me like I'm the perpetrator.
Really?
So I'm not going to the meetings anymore because it just gets me frustrated and nothing has been done. So this is why I've come here today.
I'm wondering if we could get Chief Bradley to comment on this matter as well. I'm sure he's familiar with it.
Yes, we have been to that to those residents many times, a lot. But we can't just arrest them just because. So unless they're breaking the law when we get there, or they have broken the law or something like that. We're well aware of the situation, what's going on there. We have given out tickets. We have taken a lot of law enforcement action over there. It seems like somebody's renting those out. Whoever owns them is renting them out.
Yes, both of those houses, they're both being rented.
Right, they're both being rented out, so there's people that need to take responsibility for what's going on over there. With the police, we'll continue to go over there. We have been over there. We have taken law enforcement action. We've written tickets because they're parking in the back in the grass and all those things like that. They have their own towing service over there, so if they want to tow, they can tow. But, the police are doing what we're supposed to do over there.
We will let you know. We will do even more for you. I'll talk with you and talk to Mr. Lanier. Okay, see what more assistance we can get. Because it's not like you saying towing. The cars are out there or something.
This is my neighbor next door to me. He's, I guess, trying to hide from the repo man.
Oh.
He puts his car in the back.
Okay, so we'll see. We'll make sure there's remedy and patrolling more often for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sandra Warren. Apologize.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Board of Trustees. I'm Sandra Warren. I'm on Circle Drive, as you remember, the top lot and all the other little stuff that was going on Circle Drive this summer. And I thank those who helped clean up the top lot and mow the grass and all of those things. I'm here again about the GED program. I see that it's still on the marquee outside. Class started last week. I'm sorry, Trustee Elizabeth Williams is not here because this is her passionate program that we're using property taxpayers' money for. Class started last week with 5 people, and we're paying $9,321 for this class. I spoke with the teacher last week, and people were coming in, and one by one, and I don't know, they may have 13 people. But as you recall, last time, the first time the class was offered, we paid $20,000 for 18 people. None got a GED. It was billed as a GED class. Nobody got a GED. They got certificates of participation. This class is billed as a GED prep class, whatever that means. Not sure. But I suppose it's supposed to prepare them for taking the GED. But after talking to the teacher, it sounds more like a tutorial program. The textbooks that they're using, they're not even allowed to take the books home for whatever reason. I mean, if people were really motivated and wanted to study, I think they would go take the books home and do homework or something. So I think there are quite a few mistakes with this GED program, and as a taxpayer, I am really tired of it. This is for 5 weeks, $9,321, and we already know that the program last time was for 12 weeks. This one is for 5 weeks, and I can see in 2, 3 more weeks, someone's gonna say, well, we need an extension, and that is not going to happen. Or, I will have to talk to the newspaper and everybody else about this waste of taxpayers' money. No GED, no free. It's not free for us.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Robert Travis.
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Trustees, and residents. I'd like to announce on October 25th, the Concerned Citizens Committee is putting on a community-wide men's and women's health fair here, October 25th. I'll give you more details at the next meeting. There'll be a lot of screens, a lot of vendors.
Can you speak up, please?
Can I speak up? Yeah. Okay.
We can't hear you back here.
All right. On October 25th, the Concerned Citizens Committee is putting on a community-wide men and women's health fair here at 90 Town Center. I'll give you more details at the next meeting. Can you hear that? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I noticed that the head tax on industrial parks companies, University Park penalizes them for not hiring UP citizens. And yet still in University Park, there are citizens in University Park that are qualified to do jobs where University Park hires people outside of University Park. And at the same time, we have people who are working in University Park, either have moved outside of University Park or never did live in University Park. Do we have an ordinance on there? If we do have an ordinance, can we stiffen it to make sure this isn't happening again? And also, we had a finance meeting last week, but we like to encourage the village manager to come to our finance meeting because we do have questions that we can't answer that only he can answer. 3 minutes up? Okay.
No? 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Yes, sir. Just a second, Mr. Travis.
Mr. Travis, as far as the head tax ordinance, again, it's all financial, and the only enforcement mechanism that we have is the $10, $4 rate. There's no way I think we can strengthen the ordinance to force the industrial park to hire more village residents. We can't push them in the right direction. We can talk to them about going in the right direction, but as far as stiffening up for head tax ordinance in that way, the incentive is financial. $10 for non-residents, $4 for residents.
But that's like penalizing them. But you don't have residents of UP. There are some residents who work with UP who don't live in UP.
Yeah, and on that, when you're saying there was a ordinance that was implemented saying that they could be 20 to 30 miles away, and that's the one I think you're referring to as far as tightening up, because we do have employees in the village that work, majority, I don't know how many actually live in the village, of our department heads, maybe 1%, 2%, but the majority of them do not live in the village. You're absolutely correct, but we can, we can do something to tighten that up, we can change that ordinance. Yeah, I know. Penalize, yeah. I see what you're saying. 1 minute, we're going to penalize the people in Industrial Park, but we're not doing the same thing.
Just for the record.
So, excuse me, I'm sorry. That's okay. So we will address that. Thank you. Any Mr. Payton and then Mr. Trustee Brown.
Yeah, I would endorse what you're saying, Mr. Travis. I think it's very hypocritical for the village to try to punish the industrial park for not hiring folks, and we're not even doing that ourselves in the village. So I think your point is really well taken.
Thank you very much.
Exactly.
For the record, I don't believe I supported that ordinance.
What ordinance?
The 20-mile radius ordinance.
Oh, that one. Excuse me. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
You know, that does not apply to department heads. That's only for police and fire.
Right.
That they have the 25-mile radius. The domicile ordinance.
The domicile ordinance
was repealed, and there is no requirement for department heads to live in.
Right, so that's what he's referring to. We have department heads that do not live in the village.
Right there, that.
Most of them. Okay, thank you very much. Bobby Bauer. Bauer.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening.
Members of the board and Chief of Police.
We can't hear you, sir.
Pardon me.
We cannot
My
hear
name
you.
is Bob Bowers. I'm the owner-operator of A1 Towing. In July 2nd of 2009, I was contacted by, at the time, Deputy Chief Box, and was asked if I would be interested in doing the towing for the village of University Park. At the current time, the towing company that was contracted or was doing your towing was overcharging the general public. I came the following week to a board meeting, which was me, TMW, and Central Towing. We gave the board, the mayor and the board, our proposals, and I was selected out of the 3 companies, and the board had voted on it, and we were approved by the board. As of I got and I've never raised my rates since 2009. I've had excellent ETAs. I've never had any complaints to the chief or to the police department. We clean up excellent at every accident scene. You can never tell if there was an accident there. On July 2nd of this year, I got a fax saying that I was going to be the primary tower for the village of University Park, and Coy's Towing was going to be the secondary tower for their heavy-duty semis, tractor trailers, and large vehicles. As of August 1st, I was notified by telephone that I was no longer going to be doing any of the towing for the village. Now,
Your telephone, sorry, your telephone call was from whom, sir?
I got the phone call from Sergeant Murphy, and he had called and told me, and he asked me if I wanted to call the chief. I did not get any letters or anything else from the village or anything else. Now, I did see in the notes here for new business that they're going to, I don't know, I might be putting the cart in front of the horse. They're going to add Coy, and it says that we're going to work together. I don't know if we're going to be as a secondary company or we're just going to work as on a rotation basis. I don't know. They did call us today to tow I believe it was a code enforcement vehicle, which we towed, but no problem. I don't have a problem with towing for you, even though I was the tolls were taken away from us. I don't know if that's how it's going to be worked. I don't know if I have to wait for that. Is that how they're going to do that, Chief? Are we going to do a rotation type basis, or?
Go ahead and talk, and I'll answer.
Pardon?
Go ahead and finish, and I'll answer.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm finished. I'm just saying, like in the 5 years, there was no complaints, no, like I said, clean up good. We do everything, great that any tow company does, good company. The fire department was here, they could tell you how good we clean up. And I'm sure the chief could say, I know he hasn't had any complaints from any of his men that are out there while we do accident scenes. We have good ETAs. I just don't want to repeat myself.
Okay.
Thank you.
The chief was going to respond to you, sir. Sir, Mr. Bowden, he's going to respond to you. He's going to respond to you.
Absolutely. We have been getting good service from A1 Towing. However, Coy's has services that we vitally need that A1 cannot provide. I wouldn't want to go into a lot of the things that we can use them for in a public forum like this, but just for an instance, they have a bay that we can use when we're doing vehicle searches. That bay has video and audio taping that will help us in criminal litigation or lawsuits, things like that. They provide a lot of amenities like that A1 Towing does not provide. And yes, we are taking advantage of that for obvious reasons, law enforcement. So those are some of the reasons that we have been using Coy's Towing, and we will be in the future.
Okay. I apologize to you because the board was not aware of that, and if that was the case, if they were going to change over, Mr. Lynch should have informed us, like you're saying, to let us know so we can vote on that as well. Not a problem with that. The procedure is just the process. It was incorrect. So we will take that up with Mr. Lanier and get back with you.
Is there going to be a rotation? As I said that we were going to be added on the notes, Chief. Or am I done towing for you guys? Or?
I'm sure Mr. Lanier will have to get that back with you. We had no knowledge. I definitely did not know that he's going to do that.
Because the way it's written on the paper here, it said that we were.
Well, I didn't even see that, sir, and I apologize for that. When the board, I'm sure, I don't know, maybe I'm just the only one who didn't see it, but I have no knowledge of it, so I'll discuss that with Mr. Lanier on his return and get back with you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Sandra Hurd.
Mayor, Board of Trustees.
Good evening.
Finance officers. My name is Sandra Hurd. I'm the assessor for Mooney Township. I'm also a resident of University Park and a member of the Finance Committee. I wanted to ask first before I get started, I did want to make an announcement or an appeal for the Finance Committee doing the committees and commissions, but I didn't really get a chance to do that. Can I do that separate from my public comments? Because it's just to ask members, residents who want to become members, because we're short. Okay, first I just want to say about the finance.
Won't take it from your 3 minutes either.
Okay, Finance Committee meetings are on third Wednesdays each month, and unless we cancel them with the notice or posted, that's what we expect to have every month. We also we should have 7 members, and we're short 2. We only have 5 at this time, so we're requesting the University Park members who are interested in learning about the financing, understanding it a bit more, and serving on this committee that you're invited to attend. Our next meeting, September 17th, 2014 at 7 p.m. right here at 90 Town Center. We also, as Mr. Travis said, we would like to also see the village manager there and some of the board members. One of the things that we were trying to get accomplished last time was to have a quarterly meeting with the board. That hasn't happened since we've been talking about doing it. So we really need to get serious about this and do it. But that's what I want to say about the Finance Committee. Then as far as my general public comments, I want to let everyone know that there is a last workshop of the year at the Mooney Township office, right down in 46 Town Center, on Thursday, the 28th, from 5:30 to 6:30. I do have some flyers up there at the desk. Also, you know, you can see me afterwards if you need to get one. One of the things that we'll be covering is, since this is appeal time, we're going to be talking about what you need to do if it's something that you need to do, is do an appeal. We will discuss assessments, your tax bill, and exemptions that you need to be taken advantage of. These are the things that can help you on your tax bills. I know everybody wants to do that. You will give us a call to reserve your seat at 708-534-6023 and press 0. Let me repeat that again. 708-534-6023 and press 0. Refreshments will be served, and we've been honored to have one of the trustees serve us refreshments that everybody knows. So please let us know if you plan to attend. The other thing that I wanted to speak about is our village. I wish our village manager was here, but when we were doing the Pledge of Allegiance, something kind of stuck with me when we said, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God. And I thought about this village. If we were to replace it with village for which it stands, one municipality under God, I believe that cohesiveness is what we're talking about. And I like to see that, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. We are a managerial form of government, and I know the board has to give directions to the manager. But I think one of the complaints that I have is that I don't see that the village manager may be given the freedom to do his job, or he has the lack of motivation because of whatever he's had to deal with. But if we can't, unite and then have the village manager lead as he should, as the manager of this village, we're going to be hurting. The public is going to be hurting. We have right now, we're operating under a deficit, and some of the things that does need to get done, that's got to be led by the village manager, is the finances, and cutting what we need to cut, but then also bringing revenue. I really applaud and appreciate all of you, the ideas that you're having for bringing in revenue. But we also have other things that is kind of still draining us that we got to fix. And I'm going to say that I wish he was here, that the village manager needs to be able to do his job. And, some of the things you're saying is, okay. All right.
Ma'am, since I heard one question. If a resident goes through the appeal process and is awarded the appeal, do they get a refund back of their tax money?
No, not because what it is going to be affecting is what your tax bill would be next year. And so all it would be something that would adjust. That's what it would be.
Okay.
And just for the record, the meeting that we had last Wednesday, Trustee Milton Payton, that was supposed to have been a quarterly, because we were supposed to have a meeting Friday, and we couldn't have the one that wanted Friday. I wanted it Wednesday, but they said we weren't, because we were going to have a collective meeting with the board and the finance meeting, and that didn't happen. So that was actually the meeting that we were supposed to have had, but that didn't happen.
But it was never coordinated, even
somebody,
to the committee,
right.
So I'm saying we just got to do that.
Okay, so just let you know.
Inviting everybody to come out to the next finance meeting.
All right, coordinated better. Laverne Williams, please. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Board of Trustees, staff, residents. Hello. Again, this is a disclaimer. The questions that I ask, I'm not attacking anybody. I just want to know the answer. So if you all can respond, that would be great. And I wrote these out before the meeting, so if they kind of match the other people, I apologize. First question, were there 3 bids for the vehicle of towing? And since this young man had stood up questioning that, should we have been more specific as to what the requirements would be for each towing company so the bids could be clear? And we are measuring apples to apples and not apples to oranges. If we were measuring apples to oranges, I don't know, I didn't see the bid. Number 2, where is the location for the new rail that is on the agenda today? Is that going to be along University Parkway? Or is that one of them? Okay. Number 3.
Where is it?
The rail. That's going to be
come on.
bid package.
I'll respond after your question.
Okay. Number 3. Trustee Rudez, please provide the Plan Commission copies of the information or the report that you have regarding environmentally safe projects for the village because of the comprehensive plan, and I would like the Plan Commission to be involved with that if the board approves.
Sure.
Number 4, the board said that they would provide an outline of what the capital project will fall under with the head tax. I think that's what the board agreed to, that once, because you did approve this head tax, there would be rules and regulations that you all will follow, and that there would be specific projects that will be paid under that head tax. And I don't think that has been posted yet. Number 5, when will the village complete the capital improvement program? We would like to know what we have. At least I would like to know. Number 6, have we resolved the issue of staffing regarding the truck scale? That's like a revenue source, and I don't know if we're fixed that problem or if we're still waiting to do whatever. If we can get a report on that. And then the last question: Thank you. How has the board decided to inform the public in regards to the types of jobs that are available in the industrial park so people can prepare themselves to get hired in an industrial park? Thank you.
Mrs. Williams? Mrs. Laverne?
Yes,
the guardrails on the agenda tonight, one is for the top lot on Circle Drive by Mrs. Warren's house. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's by the little top lot by her house, and the other one is on University Parkway as you turn around, right adjacent to Governor State entrance.
Going around that curve.
Yeah.
Okay. I had one more safety thing about the stop sign where the store is. Are we going to put a stop sign there?
Working on
That's in the working too. Thank you very much.
The only thing I wanted to say is that as I understand it, you'll notice that the item on the agenda with regard to the guardrail says expenditure of funds from the employer's expense head tax. And what the board voted on was that, in fact, when they were going to take money out of the head tax, 50% of the money was going to be set aside and had to be specifically approved. So this is an example of something where the public is to be made aware that the money is to come from that fund.
And what we need to do actually is see what the total is of the head tax expenditure, the money that we've collected, and then see how much is really there for these projects. Okay, that's an actual thing.
One other quick thing, if I could. I drafted the ordinance at the request of the village with regards to adding an additional company to be for towing. I don't believe it was bid. Most communities do not bid that. What the ordinance simply says is we're adding a second authorized company. Now, what the process is by which the police department or others would choose, that's a different story. But the ordinance doesn't cut anybody out, it simply adds a second company.
And this company, yes, sir. Can we, go ahead, sir.
Also, I have submitted a project list in regards to the head tax ordinance. This was one of the on that list. There are also 5 street projects: Greenbrier, Abbott, Amherst and one other street that is escaping me right now. The cost of those are $500,000. So the head tax will be going on at least that long, and there may be other projects added to the list.
You mentioned Amherst, right?
How?
Yes, Amherst.
I said Amherst, Abbott, Greenbrier, Pin Oak, and there's one other street that I cannot think of right now.
And we want, would you supply her with that if possible? The list, and we'll see what we actually have and actually those expenditures for the cost of those. Yes, sir.
Yes, I think it's important that these projects come before the board and the finance committee and or the village managers, because the projects that I think Trustee Oscar Brown is referring to in one of my questions regarding the guardrails is, why isn't that in Road and Bridge, our Road and Bridge Fund? We're talking about $500,000 for street-related projects. Why isn't that part of our Road and Bridge Fund? And so if we're going to be consistent in how we do things in the village, in my opinion, that needs to be carefully weighed so that this slush fund or this head tax fund doesn't get to be a political fund for pet projects.
And trustee, just
Yes, sir, trustee.
Our road and bridge fund has been pretty much depleted. We haven't been filling the budget as customarily as we usually did, and it's kind of low this year.
Yes, trustee.
Yeah, well, again, Trustee Rudez, that was the importance of the coordinated, and the board agreed to this, to have the coordinated meetings with the finance committee so that we could air out these kinds of things. So I've been asking for a while about the line items for the capital budget, for example. And if we're going to be doing budgets in the future, and obviously, it's difficult to get road projects done this year because there's a 5-year road projects budget, then that needs to be factored in to the budget and the budget process. And what we said as a board is that we would tweak the budget where necessary during the year, and that is what the quarterly meetings, or even a meeting once every 4 months, were geared to do, to take a look at where we were from a financial standpoint, as well as to make a determination of what maybe are some special projects that need to come up and need to be dealt with properly.
And also the fact that, and I know when from the last meeting we had Wednesday night, we are in a deficit, as Ms. Hurd said, and we are battling, trying to get our audits updated, because right now we're dealing with the attorney, with the comptroller's attorney now. So we're trying to really get those done because it's really a gun at us. Because we're at 10. We have not got 11, 12, 13, or 14 done. So we have to be very cognizant of what we're spending and how we're spending it and making sure that it's budgeting. So that's it. We got the last comment.
Also, in regards to the head tax, part of the head tax does go into the general fund. I believe it's trying to help reduce some of that budget gap.
So it won't,
Excuse me,
it
ma'am.
won't touch it. Okay.
She had a comment about, she wanted to answer about the truck enforcement program.
Yes, sir.
Over the last 9 days, the truck enforcement program at the University Park Police Department has taken in over $8,000. And there might not be a lot to a lot of people out there, but that program had to be completely revamped. It's been in shambles ever since I came to this department, and it was a process that we had to go through. But we are at the point where we are starting to see money come in. So, like I said, over the last 9 days, we've taken in over approximately $8,000 in the truck enforcement program, and we're moving ahead with that.
And just a little tidbit, there was Ms. Jennifer from Washington Township wanted to make a presentation, but she didn't get in touch with anyone. She wanted to present to me a check for $14,000 for the shelter we got this year alone. So we're getting some, but like I said, we're so in the negative, not to mention the money, we're in negative with the golf course and that. The revenues are coming about, but we still we got a long way to go in order to even be balanced. Okay, last person.
I believe there was one other aspect of this, one question Ms. Williams asked. I believe you asked about how do we match up potential employees with the needs of the corporations or businesses over in the industrial park. Over the past month and a half, I have worked closely with Mr. Lanier in developing what I'm calling a jobs database, where we try to collect information and skills of residents in University Park so that that can be made available and matched up with the needs of the employers over in the Industrial Center. Right now, the questionnaire is just about ready to go online where you can complete it or fill it out on the website. One stumbling block that we have that I believe will be worked out relatively soon is creating something where you can upload a resume onto the website and connect it to your data sheet. So that's been worked on for the past month and a half, and should be ready to be posted on the website relatively soon. And when I say relatively soon, I mean in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
And we did put in the budget, we're trying to get an HR person because we want to be in the guidelines of legalities when it comes to HR and just any and everybody. We shouldn't be handling data, and I've made that very clear. We need Mr. Lanier to really concentrate on that, but look at their websites. They are posting, and we do, when they have something, they do send it to us, and we put it on our website right away. Ms. Bridget Simmons-Franklin.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening.
All the trustees.
Good evening. Good evening.
My name is Bridget Simmons Franklin, and I'm here representing University Park Lions. I'm a team mom, a coordinator for the volunteers, and responsible for all the creative materials such as the banners, the programs, and flyers, just to name a few things that I've done. I'm inviting you all to come out to the games this season. This is one of our more successful seasons that we've had. All of our teams pretty much have at least 20 kids on each level, so that's an amazing accomplishment for the entire organization. The players and the cheerleaders look amazing, and we would love your support. Tomorrow we do have a scrimmage against the Creek Bulldogs here at our practice field around the 6 o'clock hour. And this weekend we do have home games, and the games kick off at 10 a.m. And we do have home games at Olmsted Park against Park Forest Hurricanes. All of our home games, we will be selling t-shirts, card decals, and ad book sales. So you can come and show your Lions pride. Our homecoming is the weekend of September 26th. Our 4th annual alumni game with all of our Lion alumni are invited to participate. And that will take place on Saturday, September 27th at 3 p.m. At our game field at Olmsted Park. The game day is Sunday, September 28th, beginning at 10 a.m. with our Bantam level. We're so excited to announce our ad book for our 2014 season, which will also be selling at the home games. And today I do have with me the 2014 schedule, just in case you guys would like to come out and check the kids out this season.
Thank you, sir.
One question. Mrs. Simmons, I do have one question and a concern. I received some phone calls. Now, does the fire department have a copy of you guys' schedule? Because I guess the concern was customarily there was always an ambulance on standby during the game times. How is that going to work this season? Mr. Chelios?
I do have the schedules with me just in case. Now, I wasn't responsible for providing the schedules to any department because I'm not ahead of the board. I do know there was a situation at our home game where we did have someone who got overheated and passed out in the heat, and I was right there with the young lady, and it did take a while for the paramedic to arrive. Luckily and gracefully, we had doctors and registered nurses there who were assisting the young lady. So that was an awesome thing. I talked to her a couple of days afterwards. She's doing fine. And then the rest of the day, the paramedic did stay at the home games. But I do have the schedule for whoever needs it to give to.
Yes, sir, just a second.
Trustee,
Yes, I had a question about the ads, but just in case a person couldn't make it to the home game, what is your contact information, just in case someone wanted to buy an ad in your program?
Sure, absolutely. Well, my name is Bridget Simmons Franklin, and you can give me a call at 708-250-0475. And I do have some more packages.
that's 250-0475.
My name is Bridget Simmons Franklin. It is 708-250-0475. That's my personal cell phone information. And then if you guys would like, I will bring some more packets up to the Village Hall if you guys would like that information.
One other question, how much for a page, half page, maybe start?
I believe the full page is $60, and I think the half page is $35.
Okay.
They are reasonable.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ms. Franklin, and thank you for what you do at 201U as well. She does double things. She's one of the staff people at our high school. Very, very good person.
I'm sorry.
And you can, yes, and you can pass it down. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, there was one announcement Mr. Lanier wanted us to say. There was a comment made and he asked me to talk about it. There are trees, we had complaints about the trees on Black Hawk and how they're decaying and they're afraid that they might fall on them or whatever. He said that there's been some type of bug, beetle that's been infested in the trees, and we are looking right now at a grant that is given by the state that will give us some type of trees. They're giving us a selection of what type of trees we would like to have, and they're going to try to maintain that. And another good one, also, we look like everything's working out. I'll get this grant, $4 million from an organization. So we're really happy about that help. That was going to work on curbs and streets as well. So you guys keep us in prayer, and we're going to move on. All right, and that's from Mr. Lanier. So that's the thing about the trees and the complaint. He told me to advertise that today. Discussion agenda, unfinished business, none. New business, first, second, and third reading ordinance accepting the lowest responsible proposal for the waterproofing of the police department's basement. Is there a motion?
So move.
Moved and echoed by.
I second.
Who was it moved by in here? Trustee Rudez, second by Trustee Griffin. Questions? I have questions. Is there any mold or anything, or do we have any mold or any other?
Yes, ma'am. As we speak, we have standing water in our IT room down in the basement, so we need that done right as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you, sir. The new business, first, second, and third reading. I'm sorry. Roll call, please.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
Mayor Covington.
Aye.
Mayor Covington, that is ordinance O 2014-35.
Thank you, clerk and gentlemen. First, second, and third reading ordinance declaring certain personal property number no longer necessary or useful to the village and authorizing the state or disposal of equipment and other items at the Public Works Department. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Trustee Griffin, second by Trustee Rudez. Question, is this the list that was proposed to us some while back?
This is a second.
Where are the list of items?
It's on.
I mean, other than this, we didn't have another list? I'm looking at this on the ordinance. Because what someone sent, it was more the tractor and miscellaneous junk. What's junk?
Mayor, I think we did one earlier in the year.
This is, Madam Mayor, this is in addition to.
Okay.
The one that we did.
Okay.
It says here, 2,000 tractor miscellaneous.
It said junk. That's a typo. Miscellaneous junk, I like junk.
You know, if I may, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
It is actually junk.
Okay.
If you go behind the Public Works Department.
There's a lot of junk in Public Works Department.
Right, you will see, you know, all kinds of scrap junk.
Okay.
Junk.
I still would like the list of it. Okay. Mr. Jones, did you make sure I got a list of the junk? Roll call.
Trustee Oscar Brown. Trustee Payton. Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Votes aye.
Mayor Covington, that is ordinance 04-36.
First, second, and third reading. Ordinance authorizing execution of a lease agreement with the Will County Health Department and Community Health Care Center in space number 44 in University Park Town Center. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee, second by trustee Griffin. Is there a question or comments? Roll call.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
And Mayor Covington. Mayor Covington, that is ordinance 2014-37.
Thank you. Sir Jones. First, second, and third reading ordinance accepting the lowest responsible proposal for the guardrails and authorizing expenditure of funds from the employee head tax, expense tax fund for this project. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Griffin, second by trustee Who has questions?
I have a question.
Trustee Larry Brown and trustee Payton.
I'm looking at this and, this is with having the guardrail, especially on University Parkway. I know we're looking to have it going westbound on the east side of that street around the curve. Are we going to consider putting the rail on the other side of the road, because we do have a pedestrian walkway there? Just putting that out there, we're looking to do that sometime in the future. Because we coming around there, if you have an inclement weather or individuals who may be inebriated, lose control, then there could be, maybe, but it's a chance. I don't think that we would like to have to deal with the VA pedestrian could be injured. So I think it would be a good idea to do it on the other side as well, as we can.
We look at it. I don't see a department.
The reason I thought about around the curve by the trees, I remember the lady, I can't remember her name, Mrs. Banks. She had two incidents about 3 years ago. Cars went up, left the road and went up in her backyard. So that was my thought about that. I wanted to get that side finished first because I remember what Ms. Banks went through. I have no problem with putting one on the other side, but I was thinking about the Banks situation, so that's why I wanted it done on this side.
Well, actually, okay, we don't like this. Go ahead, trustee.
Yeah, a couple things. First is the ordinance reads on section 1 that the village is authorized to accept proposals presented by fence masters in Chicago Heights, Illinois of $7,545 for guardrails at 522 Circle Drive and on Governor's Highway. That's got nothing to do with University Parkway. Governor's Highway is somewhere else, so there's an error.
Yeah, it's a typo.
Well, yeah. Let me just finish here. So, see, the question that I have is that we got 3 quotes, and they differ from this standpoint. First of all, fence masters, it says Governor's Highways, and it's talking about 100 linear feet of guardrail, a total. And the fence masters is 82 feet. The region fence is 72 feet, and Lansing fence is 80 feet. So we didn't give any consistent instructions to bid this out, in my opinion. If you take a look at the drawing for Lansing Fence Corporation, they've got the drawing there indicates it's going to be at the entrance at at Governor's State and not at the curb. And most certainly not at my neighbor's house, Ms. Banks' house. Okay? So, you know, I just have a question as to how this was done so that there wasn't a consistent drawing or specifications for each one of the folks to bid on. And in particular, you know, how, you know, if it's a typo on Governor's Highway, I mean, that's, to me, is a major, major typo, because it's in the code as well. I would make a motion, Mayor, that we at least table this and get an accurate quotes from each one of the participants, so that they're all looking at the same linear feet and same quality standards for the guardrail for all of the locations, which would include also the top lot.
Well, okay, because actually, the person that's doing this, working on this for us, is Mr. Townsend, the contractor we have for Public Works, and unfortunately, he's not here, or anyone from the director from Park and Public Works. So, with that said, you're absolutely correct. We need consistency. This would kind of be dangerous because there, like I said, there are no specifications you're stating in more detail, and that would be, and then typos, that's more than a typo. So I see Mr. Townsend's name on everything here, and maybe we can get back to Mr. Townsend to give us more details and clarity on this.
I think it's what
No, that's not what I'm here, huh? Is there a second? You made a motion to table, is there a second?
Okay.
I second.
What was it you have a motion?
Take that. Okay. Yes,
Now we
ma'am.
need a roll call.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Nay.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes no.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes no to table.
Trustee Mary Brown.
Votes aye to table.
This is,
Clarification,
yes.
for clarification of the
This
language.
is the legal document, people.
You know, and I'm not against doing it. I guess we need clarification as to exactly what they're doing.
Great. This is, okay, vote. Yes. Now roll call.
So there's a tie vote, the motion to table fails, but the original motion is still on the floor, but I do have to point out that you need 4 votes in order to approve an expenditure.
All right, I'm Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir.
All right, first, in section 1, it clearly states, at 522 Circle Drive and on University Parkway, across the street from the entrance to Governor State University. That's what the ordinance says. It mentions nothing about Governor's Highway. If you look at each of the descriptions,
See that right there? And on Governor's Highway.
and mine says on University Parkway, across the street from Governor State University. So, maybe you have a typo, but on here it's stated correctly. Also, I want to say, look at the bids of each and every one of those say Governor's Highway, you got 72 feet on that one. And this one says, right here, guardrail for University Parkway, 9-inch guardrail. So they had a perfect understanding. Let me look at the next one now. They have a whole sketch here, east of GSU entrance, University Parkway, and then it's across the street. So I would say that each and every one of them had an understanding of exactly what it was they were bidding on. So there's no reason to table it. And there's no reason that we can't take action on it today, because if you look, it says on here, University Parkway.
It is, just not here. University Park right here. GSU, right here.
Right.
So, but how many bids we gonna get on this? Only have 3 people. No.
Madam President, the motion on the floor is a motion to adopt it, so you need 4 votes in order to do that.
So roll call.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Nay.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Reyes.
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Not clear.
Madam Mayor, that is ordinance O 2014-38.
Please vote, Trustee Brown.
Okay, now the first, second, and third reading, the ordinance increasing the number of Class G liquor license from 1 to 3. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Rueda, second by Trustee Griffin. Questions concerning?
Question.
Yes, sir.
And we're gonna need,
It's Class G.
from 1 to 3 more licenses for what?
Go ahead, Trustee. Go ahead,
Just for clarity, a few months ago, we had received 2 applications for a liquor license on Hamilton in the outer edge of the industrial park on that strip mall. So this item was taken before the L&O committee, and they looked at whether or not the zoning would allow it. So it turned out that it would, because that little strip is zoned for business. So I spoke with the mayor, we took it to them. And this is to increase the number of liquor licenses for a restaurant without a bar. And this would also allow those businesses an opportunity to apply for a video gaming license.
Now, okay, and I appreciate the explanation, Madam Clerk. Should there be in this ordinance the location, because this makes it seems like that we're going to do something, have more licenses in town. And I know the classification, this puts it elsewhere, but shouldn't it be where we're contemplating having these licenses, shouldn't that be in this ordinance?
The answer is no. The way that the system works in almost all municipalities is that the municipality establishes the number of licenses, and as we do in this case, we would not pass the ordinance until such time as we had what we anticipated were appropriate applications. They would have preference to these licenses, and it is up to the mayor as liquor commissioners to review the applications, and it is her job to determine whether they are capable. So this is not a situation, it's not a zoning situation, it's a license situation, and this, I think, is the way we've always done it. So,
well, I understand how we've done it, and I've been upset with a few of these, and if I'm not mistaken, the licenses that we knew where they were going, and I'm getting the explanation now, but and maybe we're doing something different, but we knew where these other licenses were going, the areas where they were at.
well, I guess what I'm saying is I was told that there are 2 applications that have moved through most of the process, that in fact it's likely that they would be granted. The mayor cannot grant any more licenses until the ordinance is changed. It's up to the mayor. The mayor will in fact review it, and she will determine if there's any reason to prevent the license. But this is not, I think, under your ordinances, a special use or zoning situation. It is a situation where our job, your job as a village board, is to determine how many licenses the mayor can issue.
Okay, no, I'm good. I just need some clarification. We're not opening something else, because we have way too many in town now.
Well, this would allow, the answer is by passing this would allow the mayor to in fact issue 2 more licenses, no question about it.
No, I'm not saying in town, I'm saying in the interior town. The southern is near the industrial park. I know exactly where it's at. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Payton.
Yes, Mayor. In the Legislative and Operations Committee, and I just like, it's really kind of a follow-up on Trustee Larry Brown's and the attorney's comments. Just like a little clarification there also, because in the Legislative and Operations Committee meeting when we were talking about the additional liquor licenses, was that they were going to go to a certain area, which are the two applicants, but they would be specific to that geographic area. And the rationale behind that was if those businesses should then change and we have liquor licenses now available from a general standpoint, then what Trustee Brown's concern is that under a different administration or a different situation, someone else then could get a liquor license in another part of University Park. So, so, I mean, I don't have a problem with the additional licenses, but we wanted to make sure that there was not a proliferation of that in the inside of University Park itself. And I understand that this mayor may control that by the granting of the liquor licenses, but I'm just concerned for the future of the village as well.
Let me just briefly answer. Most efficient municipalities, when a business were to close or go out of business, almost immediately passes an ordinance reducing the number of liquor licenses. So that's the way that it's typically done.
Why do we need more liquor licenses?
Okay, now, is there a roll call? Roll call. Roll call.
Trustee Alfred Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Votes aye.
Mayor Covington, that is ordinance 2014-39.
Yeah, not for packaged goods. Okay. First, second reading, an ordinance approving the execution of a contract with the Creative Hospitality Associates. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Question. Motion by Trustee Rudez, second by Trustee Griffin. I'd ask that someone would, I need more details on this. I know it's first and second reading, but this company is the one that had gambling and they went out of business and now they're coming with this hospitality. I would like to see more competition because Mr. Lanier shared with me that other people have come to the village and wanted to do the same services, and I think we should give them the same opportunity because to make a presentation rather than just this one company of hospitality, we've had 4 people have come of an interest, and I would think that I would ask someone reconsider them.
Yeah, Mayor, I would agree. Although I attended the presentation with the Legislative and Operations Committee, and it was a good presentation, and the professors seemed to be pretty credible. We need to open this up to some competition. He may eventually still be the person that is selected if we can afford to pay $12,000 when we're losing $1 million at the golf course. But then maybe we can't afford not to spend the $12,000 if we continue to lose that kind of money. So I would make a motion, Mayor, to table this until we can get some other companies to compare this against.
I have a comment.
There's a motion. There's a second.
Mayor, with your blessing, I would like to withdraw my motion at this time so that Trustee Brown can make his comment, and then I would like to then be recognized again to table this.
Trustee.
Thank you. I was reading in this agreement, and I think that if we're looking to get other bids, what I definitely want to see, I see a section in here that reads, and this is actually I guess it's the agreement. It reads, in addition to the fees set forth above, the village will pay in advance or reimburse CHA for its costs and expenses. These include, but are not limited to, messenger and other delivery charges, photocopy charges, and travel expenses. Whenever possible, CHA would directly bill the village for CHA's out-of-pocket costs. Now, my issue with that is, and unless it's noted in the contract, there's no range that mentions additional costs. So if it costs these individuals, say $5,000 to travel from somewhere to here, you know, I'm saying that to say there should be a range that we're not going to go over. And I think we should, if we're going to get competitive bids, this should be part of that. There should be an open book, an open checkbook.
That's why we're just.
And like I said, I don't, you know, and I mean, if the individuals, you know, run this are credible, that's one thing, but like I said, there should be, I don't think that we should have a blind additional cost item in here that we will eventually have to pay this. There should be a minimum and a maximum that we will pay, not what they will charge us.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Madam Mayor, before the team say something. Madam Mayor, this is only up for a first and second reading.
I understand that, but again, first, second. No, it's first and second. But I see here that these are, like I said, these are people that came here. I guess Mr. Lanier and Trustee Rudez were talking to them. That's who's on here. We need to. There are others that have come here, and Mr. Lanier, I told him to address the ones that brought to the board the village before, but he's not done that. But I told him we need to just have more competition to get our better for our buck, because these are the same guys who gave an opportunity to do the gaming. Now we're giving them an opportunity to do this head first. I don't think that's fair. We need to get other ones. Trustee Rudez.
Mayor, well,
Did you have another question?
before you make your motion to table,
Okay.
you know, that's one of the things they teach us in these conferences. Sometimes you got to step out the box when you know you got a good fit. Then you have to do what's necessary, because you hear continuously complaints about the efficiency and the money being run out of the golf course. Now, here's a company that's been in business for 42 years, and their main thing is restaurant hospitality. By prolonging this process, what's going to happen? The flow of business is going to surely disappear, and they won't have a good opportunity to analyze what's actually going on and make a wise decision at the golf course. But I was just turning over to Trustee Payton because.
Well, before he does that. Okay. Also, Dr. Hill, he was advertised on Channel 7. He's one of the most successful hospitality companies, and he's been around a long time. Dr. Hill came, and that's why I was saying there are a lot of others, and he did come to University Park, and he has a lot of value to add to this, and he's been known on Channel 7 as one of the most successful ones in hospitality too. So there are a lot of good ones around here. We do want to do this because we are bleeding at the golf course, and we can expedite this. So I asked Mr. Lanier to contact those and to please let them know. I've just discussed this with him when I saw it on the agenda, that he would bring those people back and bring them to the table so we can have a fair bid.
Did he mention who we learned from?
That's Mr. I said Mr. Hill was one, but this guy, that's not relevant here. No, he didn't look from him. As a brother. Okay. Okay.
Was his first name Brian?
No. No, it's not. Okay.
Madam Mayor, I would just like to spend our community's money like it's our money and just table this. I'm all for doing something like this. I tried to do it on a personal basis for a strategic plan, but didn't get the cooperation. Maybe if we paid $12,500 plus, we could get this done. So I would just make a motion to table this until we could get some other companies to compare with. I think that's just a wise thing for the village to do in using its money. Second.
Okay. Roll call, please, to table.
Trustee Oscar Brown?
Pass.
Trustee Payton?
Aye.
Trustee Griffin?
Votes no.
Trustee Rudez?
Votes no to table.
Trustee Larry Brown?
Votes aye.
Mayor Covington?
Votes aye.
Trustee Oscar Brown?
Nay.
Table failed.
Roll call for second reading.
It's first and second reading.
I said first and second, that's what I said. Thank you. First and second, roll call again.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Nay.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
Mayor Covington.
Votes nay.
First and second reading.
Resolution designating Cole Auto Rebuilding as an approval provider of vehicle towing and storage services for the village. Now it's coming to.
So moved.
Second moved by trustee Rudez, second by trustee Griffin. Questions? Trustee Milton Payton.
I really don't have a question. I have a comment to make that Coy's Towing was very generous to the village as part of the family fling, and they donated a lot of backpacks and school supplies. I just know that may have had some influence on why at this time this is now appearing on our agenda for approval.
And it's been brought to our attention that he was also in Madison. Madison was still here before, so he's kind of familiar with them.
Point of clarity, this is just to add them to the list, correct? Okay, but we're not removing anyone, correct?
But it's kind of, what effect is this having on A1 towing?
They're not, these guys are not the exclusive provider. They're according to this, they're going to be working together with A1 Towing. Of course, buildings are working with A1 Towing.
In previous to this, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd also point out that the chief did give some pretty valid reasons earlier during the public comments in regards to why we would need to add this towing company to the list.
Okay. Any others? I just don't want us to be pay-to-play stuff here. Excuse me? I said ain't none of that. Ain't none of that. Okay. Roll call, please.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Both sides, I'd like to thank him for his contribution.
Mayor Covington, that is resolution R 2014-15.
Thank you. 2014-15. Resolution regarding the improvement of University Parkway from Stager Monee Road to Western Avenue. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Griffin, second by trustee Brunette. Questions? Trustee Larry Oscar Brown, sir.
Yes, what does LAFO mean?
I got, we did bring that acronym down.
It's will be in the fourth paragraph of the preamble.
They should bring the acronyms down.
Yeah, they did provide that. I knew it. I actually knew that. I didn't know what LAFO meant.
And they said and. I'm sure it's an engineering technology type of. Okay. Here's no explanation. Sir, do you know Mr. Jones by any chance? Okay. And there's no engineers here. Right here.
Is it?
Might be a typo.
Well, they use it several times.
Yeah, and they never.
Sure does. Numerous times.
I knew what SMNA was.
Right.
I wouldn't know what STP was.
Yeah.
I knew what IDA was, but I wouldn't know what LAFO was.
You know what SSMA, you can strike it at this time? You want to strike it?
So it is.
Right. SSMA is the South Suburban Mayor Managers Association. We got that acronym. STP is a transportation program, but they did not explain this. Okay.
Because it's say LFO program, and LFO program guideline for which one of the
Consideration of land officials. I don't want to play with that acronym. Okay. Yes, sir.
Right.
Got questions?
Right. First, a question for the attorney. This is just a resolution. Is this necessary for the village to move forward?
I can only suspect that it's been requested, ordinarily there is a desire at the state agencies that they want to know that they'll get cooperation. So I'm sure it's been requested. I didn't draft this.
Okay. So the other, and the reason I asked that is because in here, it's a pretty substantial amount of work that we're looking at doing, and there is no estimated project cost. Even though 80% is going to be federal, we have a 20% matching fund, and if this project is going to cost $8 or $10 million, the village's portion is going to be pretty substantial. So, I was wondering, is there any kind of estimate as to what it's going to cost us to do this? What are we really obligating ourselves for in the future if we don't even have the funds now?
I think right now, Trustee, we need to bring this to Mr. Lanier since he signed off on it and prepared it. We need to maybe hold this out until he returns so we can get a clear explanation of it. Is there a motion to put this on hold? What's going on with the road project? Yeah, the road, well, no, it's just not a simple road. Like you said, there are some incidents here that we need to pay close attention to because like I said, the 20% of the total phase 2 engineering construction costs could be phenomenal, and we saying that we don't have the prices here. We need to move on it right away, but
our funding mechanism.
I don't think
we don't know what that is.
You don't know what it is. So how can you lose something you don't know? And there's no time frame here. We know it's for 2015-16. So if it's of high urgency, I'm sure we can do a poll. We can do that.
Well,
but right now,
I don't think delaying this 2 weeks is going to substantially affect things if we don't even know how this even materialized, and this might obligate us to at least $1 million.
That's fine, but I just have one suggestion. Mr. Lanier is on vacation, and I'll go along with that. That's completely fine. But sometimes when you get these packages, when you have these questions, you should ask these questions.
We did. Mr. Lanier didn't have information. He was not available. I called.
Right.
And I talked to him again today and he forgot. Okay.
So Mayor, I would make a motion to table this until the next board meeting with a little bit more background on it.
And everybody should have had a question on this. Is there a second to the table?
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please, for the table.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes no to table.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye. Thank you.
Carried.
Bills payable, since we did not have a meeting on last board meeting, we have to vote on two bills payable so we can get our bills paid, and we're late to it. The first one I will read is for July 23rd to August 12th. Attached for your approval is a listing of the general operating expenses for the Village University Park, and the following is a grand total of the everyday expenses of the last 3 weeks from July 23rd, 2014 to August 12th, 2014. General operating fund, $180,608.84. Road and bridge, $13,204.84. Town center, $428.39. Golf course, $59,116.40. Capital project fund, $23,773.03, totaling $277,131.50. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Rudez.
Second.
Second by Trustee Larry Brown. Is there any questions? Yes, sir.
I guess check numbers 82632 and 633. Crawford, Murphy, Tillis,
Yes,
professional
sir.
service,
Yes, sir.
$38,620.19.
Well, I know I
Twice.
can, yes.
So
That, I know one of them for sure, that's the back pay we owe those engineers, like I said. So, but for two entries,
Those are
Mr.
quarterly payments
Quarterly.
that we're making to them.
okay, let me ask you another question. I want, how close are we to catching up and getting rid of them? As many times as I've asked, I know you should know that.
Yeah, I know the village manager has answered that question many times, trustee. In my opinion, it's approximately about 200,000, but I don't have the numbers in front of me. I would have to get back to you on that. I'm just guessing because I'm not really sure, but I know that you see 2 payments on here, and I'm sure we're probably holding some, and I'll just have to get back to you on that one.
Well, the total back pay, I know was originally, I'm sorry, just for your understanding, trustee, I think it was 400,000, I think. Was it not?
It was close to 400,000.
400,000 that we owed them for years ago. Okay? Okay?
Okay. So you will have this for me tomorrow?
I can get that in tomorrow easily.
Okay, because I want to know their lack of service that they did. I want to know when we are going to get rid of them. And okay, that's it.
Trustee two, I want to say in your, on their behalf, that those, we're still pending, they had obligated to some of the projects that were still pending too, so that's why we had to finish paying them up because they were on those projects as well.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
trustee, Mtg.
Yes, just a couple of questions. First one is involving check 82619, the bullet trap range maintenance for $8,460. What's involved there that costs so much?
I know it. Give me a second, trustee.
Maybe the chief could comment on that. You know what's that all about?
There's an OSHA requirement we have to clean out because of all the lead that's been spent down there when we shoot everything. You have to go back there as a wall and they have to come in and clean that out. It has to be done on a periodic basis, so you see it.
Okay, what's the frequency that has to be cleaned out?
It's not like it's every month or whatever. I don't know exactly what the frequency is, but it is a couple times a year I think that has to be done.
So we're talking about $16,000 a year?
Perhaps. I don't know what the frequency
Because I've never seen this before. That's why I raised the question.
Well, it has to get done. There's a lot of things that weren't getting done at the police department. That's why some of these things are being brought forth now, like the permit seal and a lot of things like that. There's things that haven't been done in 11 years of this since the building was built. And I'm trying to catch up with a lot of those things now.
Okay. Could you let us know what the maintenance frequency will be and what the approximate cost will be for this range maintenance? You know, it may be because it's been 11 years, and it's costing $8,000, but it may cost a lot less if it's just got to be done quarterly or whatever. Could you let us report back to us on that?
Sure.
Okay. The other question that I had was check number 82669, JMA Architects for Resource Center Architectural for $4,400. Is this for the Technical Resource Center?
Excuse me again, this question has come up before. I'm not totally familiar with it. You may need to see the village manager, but I can pull the check and look and see.
Okay, good, because, you know, we originally spent $30,000 in architectural fees for the Technical Resource Center. Then we spent another $12,000 earlier this year, and now we're spending another $4,000. That's $46,000 alone in architectural fees, if that's what that's for, you know. And sometimes these descriptions are a little misleading. So if that's what the case is, I would definitely be interested to see what other monies we spent already, because I know they've gutted that place and used the village's labor or maybe some contract labor to do that. But I'd sure like to understand what the cost was and where this has been budgeted, or is this another one of the projects that's going to come out of the head tax? And if we have a head tax fund, you know, that we're spending money out of, what's the balance in that fund?
Well, I don't think anyone says this money is coming out of the head tax fund. I just need to get back to you on what exactly it's for.
Okay, then this should be budgeted somewhere then, correct?
It should be budgeted somewhere.
All right, okay.
I have a question when it comes to that. It's police department. Are we actually, I don't know, I guess Chief, you're new and I really don't want to put that on you, but could we get some type of total of, because when they built that, the purpose of that building out should have been a revenue generator. And I'd like to know how much money we're actually generating from the range. That was the purpose of it being built years ago. That was not under you. But if we could get that as far as how much uses we're getting and the revenue that we're generating from it, that's, okay, I appreciate that. Anybody else? Okay, roll call.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Oh, aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye. To pay the bills.
Trustee Griffin.
Both sides.
Trustee Rutherford.
Both sides, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Both sides.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye. Next bill payable is for the month of August 13, 2013, 14 to August 26, 2014. General funds, excuse me, operating funds is $277,623.66. Road and bridge is $2,061.38. Town center, $9,713.36. Golf course is $43,052.82. Capital project fund, $519,012.78. Tolling, $851,464.00. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Brunette, second.
Second.
Second by trustee Larry Brown. Question?
Question.
Yes, sir. Trustee Griffin.
Check 82-749, ABC Engineering LLC, equipment installation, 2390.
82749.
ABC. Is that the one?
Yeah.
For $2,390. Engineering LLC. And if we can on these as well, like the trustee said, can we go into the office and ask for these so we won't have to hold up so much time? It's this. Trustee Brunette said.
That check is to purchase studio, help the studio with the studio equipment in the cable studio. That's in the budget as well.
Okay. Okay. And check 82754, Amber Mechanical Air Conditioning Repair.
That's at the,
Okay, all right, I got you. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Okay.
They'll be coming back out tomorrow morning.
Okay. They are going to have it straightened out, right? Okay, thank you. Check 82782, Crawford, Murphy, and Tillis again. So this is 3 checks this month, not 2, 3. So that's why I'm asking, when are we going to be through paying them? No, I understand they helping with the road project. To keep them would be more economical because they worked on it. They just need updates instead of going somebody, have someone to start over again. I understand that. But when will we be through with Crawford, Murphy? Yeah. So this is over 90, this is over 100, close to 100,000 right now.
Well, I indicated to you it was at least 200,000.
Okay, well then, so then we should owe them about 100,000.
Well, again, I will give you an answer tomorrow. I'm not certain. I can give you an answer tomorrow on that.
Well, no, I'm just saying with the last, on the 12th, we paid them $38,628 twice. So 2 times 38, that's over 70,000. Okay, so now we got another 38, so that's over 100,000 there, so we should owe them about 100,000. Maybe less?
I think we should wait till tomorrow.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully.
I want to give you tomorrow on that.
Okay.
Check 82812, AT Kolofsky and Associates, 2820, Keenan, Jacob, Gilbert, Beal. Oh, that's for the police officer?
It is police related.
Oh, it's police related? Okay. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. That's okay, I got 82841. I know it's South Suburban Mayors, oh, this is mayor's membership. Is this just for the mayor or is this?
No, that's for the board. It's for the board.
So this takes up some of the dues, some of the events that we go to?
This is our membership so that we'll be a part of the lottery.
Okay.
So when their funding's available, that's why we're in these memberships, because when they have money available, like the $7 million we retrieve from them, we get a part of it.
All right.
Membership is. Okay. Trustee Milton Bailey?
Yeah, I apologize, Mr. Jones, but I know I've asked this question once before for the same vendor, but I forgot what it was for. And this involves check 82799 for Hodges, Loisy, and Eisenhammer. Audit services rendered for $47,014.15. What audit was that?
It was not an audit. That's a typo. That should be legal services.
Oh, labor negotiations. Oh, I wondered.
Oh, audits, sir. Yeah. We need to make that, we need to make that real clear.
Okay. The next one is 82825 from Nicor, natural gas usage for $8,662.70. I know this is the summer, and I know the kitchen's been down. Is that just back bills?
That's probably just back bills.
Back bills, okay. That's all I have.
I have a question. Why are we paying for golf security?
We've always paid for golf security.
$150. Who is this golf security?
Friday night.
Friday night?
It's Friday
Okay.
security.
Okay, all right, I'm just saying, we have this, is this company the one consistent one? For a while, I saw our police officers there.
Right.
Right, so that's why I'm saying this. Now it's a golf security. Is this one of our police officers?
This is one of our police officers
Okay,
here.
thank you.
Are we paying them separately, or shouldn't that just be in the payroll budget?
Overtime?
No, that comes out of the golf club budget. It's a line item in the golf club budget. They pay for, it's considered in their budget for security. We've been doing this for all year.
That discussed that. Okay. Okay, what was one question I had? Sorry. Sorry about that. Now, when we have if a person has a line, they have a budget. Let me get this real clear. They have a budget, and once they pay out of their budget, we reimburse them?
That's not really how our budget works, Mayor. It's just a guideline.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I'll start you off this line on that. Okay, roll call. Something here is not right.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Taylor.
Aye, to pay the bills.
Trustee Griffin.
Both sides.
Trustee Rudez.
Both sides.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Both sides.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye. With that said, board trustees' comments, and take in mind we have an executive session tonight. We got it. Okay, trustee Oscar Brown.
Good evening, everybody. First, I want to give my congratulations to Lee Jones for a successful completion of the MCI Summer Seminar and for completing of FOIA training. Also, I'd like to give congratulations to our Public Works Department. Also, I must congratulate her on receiving a scholarship towards attending the Municipal Clerks Organization Academy in Frankfurt, Germany. The Frank German MCI Scholarship Award to attend the Municipal Clerks Academy in Springfield. I missed that one.
Yeah, that would have been on the budget.
All right. Also, congratulations to our Public Works Department, to Mr. Hunt, Mr. Miser and Mr. Lawson for completing their flagger training. Everybody and all employees keep up the good work. I did give them congratulations while they were not here. It's not very sporting to attack a person when they are not here to defend themselves. One nation under God, indivisible. We cannot change the Pledge of Allegiance. When we say such words, we're pledging allegiance to our flag, and it represents our nation. Now, as far as unity goes, that's something we just have to try and demonstrate, try to live up to. And I know it's patriotic and we all feel pride in it. I know I most certainly do. But we have to try and live up to those ideals. Sometimes in democracy it gets a little messy and get a little argumentative. But the whole system and what we say and what we represent when we say the pledge is all a part of it. So you just have to get used to it, got to work through it, and remember the main ideal is what we stand up and say the pledge to, and it's the way our nation works. And getting to that, sometimes we can say some things that are disingenuous. I want to first say something genuine. Thank you, Trustee Brown, for support on putting up that guardrail, both on University Parkway, but more especially the top line. I find it disingenuous to call fixing or putting a guardrail on Circle Drive a slush fund. I find that disingenuous to say that the repair of Greenbrier is part of a political pet project. I find it very disingenuous that you would say that to repair Amherst Lane is just something I'm going to do. I talked before about my bike rides, haven't been able to do it lately due to rain. However, all you have to do is go and take a look. And you can see it's not a pet project, it's not a slush fund, it's not even a campaign promise. It's something that's necessary. Necessary to the Village University Park, period. And that's it. And I resent that fact that anyone would call this a slush fund. Especially for this guardrail over on Circle Drive. You know, I go around and I talk to people, especially during campaign times, and I make lots of promises. I try to keep as many as I can. Sometimes you just can't. Sometimes it's a little hard. Sometimes you have to go through the spaghetti sauce or sausage that we call democracy. Things get muddled up. But back in 2007, when I first went out on my first campaign, I talked to this lady. She lives on Circle Drive. It wasn't Eunice Warren, it was another one. And she has been talking about this guardrail since 2007. And I said, you know, if you get me in, I'm going to take care of it. And 4 years went by, then get taken care of. You get here, you find out about audits and budgets and lack of money. And then you get tired of it. And you want to do the things that you promised people you would do. And you want to give a person hope, even though she sees a lot of sausage during these board meetings. I'm just glad I could help that lady and finally come through on the promise that I made. Maybe it was a campaign promise, but it was definitely something necessary. I don't want to have to wait 6 years like I had to do with another campaign promise. Well, actually, that wasn't really a campaign promise. It was just something I said, all right, I'll look into. And I had to keep telling this guy, I'll look into it. I'll look into it. And you know, you want to do it right then, but you know, sometimes you learn about budgets and stuff like that. I was glad we finally got that done through some road and bridge fund money. But that lady on Greenbrier that we talk about as a pet project in a slush fund, she don't deserve to wait 6 years. Not for that. I stopped by our house twice during the campaign. First time in 2007, back in those days when we were going against old Al McCowan and the $100,000 and the SEIA signs. And I said, well, I will try and get your street repaired. And then I came back there in 2011. I said, ma'am, No, actually, I take that back. It wasn't even for 2011. It was for, I was campaigning for Trustee Griffin at the time. And she said, well, you know, it doesn't really matter what you do. Because Al McCown was there, that pothole was still there. Now we got Mayor Covington there, that pothole is still there. Ma'am, I'm gonna do everything in my power to get that pothole down, so when you see me in about, was it September 23rd or thereabouts, that pothole will be gone, or we're right on the steps to get that pothole done, because that's not a pet project. Not to her that has to ride over that pothole every single time. You're not a pet project to me. You're a necessity. And you're a promise that I made, that I'm gonna try and keep. And it's something you deserve. So this isn't no play to play, although I will say, ain't none of that. I can hear Miss Watson turning over in her grave right now, my old English teacher. However, there ain't none of that. There ain't no slush fund. There ain't no political promises. These are necessary items. That's who we fight for. Those are my comments. Thank you.
Trustee?
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I'd just like to follow up on Trustee Oscar Brown's comments, since he and a couple of other trustees have a penchant for misrepresenting the facts, my position on different things. I'm not opposed to a guardrail. I'm not opposed to having the streets repaired. What I am for is having things done the right way. You know, the reason why this village is in the dire financial straits that it's in right now is because of the way we have conducted business in the past. There's nothing wrong with getting 3 proper quotes for a guardrail. I mean, I did this all the time when I was in corporate life. So we made sure that the specifications were correct and that everybody was bidding on the same thing and that everybody was going to abide by the same standards. So, you know, you can try to misrepresent what I have to say, but I'm going to continue to do what I feel is the right and proper thing for this village to move in the right direction. Now, when I refer to this head tax fund that was set aside, there's no reason to even set aside a special fund other than it was put in the ordinance. And the reason it was put into the ordinance was for political reasons. Why put half of it in a special fund and the rest goes into the general fund? If you have a legitimate project, what difference does it make where the funds come from? So the slush fund, as I referred to it, that was set aside is exactly for that, for campaign promises, which he says that he promised folks that certain things would be done. I don't have a problem with getting the streets fixed. The question is, why would a pothole remain for years? Why do you need a special fund to fix a pothole? Our Public Works Department should have had that fixed. Not years, but days after, if it was so serious. So I'm for doing things, you know, the right way. And I really am really saddened that, you know, my position on some of these things are being misrepresented. Another big one here, and I was going to kind of leave it alone, but I can't leave it alone now, is this, and I'll use Trustee Oscar Brown Jr.'s term, disingenuous statement about the head tax and the red herring that it presents, that they're trying to do good for this village by generating more revenue. It is hypocritical to tax, to put forth a tax when you turn around before that and turn down development. It would bring 5 times as much revenue to this village. So they come to you disingenuously to say, we need this money and we want you to hire our residents. The people that I talked to in the industrial park also wanted to hire people from Orland Park. They couldn't get it. And that's because we have not done the job that we need to do to talk to folks. Not try to hit them in the head with a head tax, something that even the city of Chicago realized was the wrong thing to do to spur economic development. And there it was only $3 a head. Ours is 10. Most of the companies over in the industrial park are not tip companies. You're not punishing them. The companies that I visited over there look like the United Nations. There's so much diversity over there. So that, you know, so when you hear the insinuation that they don't want to hire us, that ain't true. That is not true. And you can visit them to find out. So this whole notion that, you know, they're going to be the savior and try to be creative toward generating revenues to save the village, to get things done in the village, wave the flag, recite the Pledge of Allegiance, that ain't true. Not in my opinion. Now, if they come up with some projects that I feel are beneficial for this village, I will be right behind and support them. But heretofore, nothing's been accomplished. Look at this GED program. It's ridiculous. You hear them talking about, we don't want to tax the residents of University Park. But what have they done? They've added essentially another tax to you with this GED program. Because you're paying taxes to the colleges. You're paying taxes to the library. You're paying taxes to the school district, right? For their GED programs, which folks can attend for free. And now you're paying another tax in this last fiscal year or financial year. It's going to probably be close to $30,000, $40,000. Not one graduate has been documented to have earned their GED. And in addition to that, the program admits students from outside the village. So you are paying for the convenience of other people to come into the village to get a GED. That to me is not a wise use of our resources. And that's why I will speak out against some things like that. And that's why the red herring, where they want to take you down this road so you don't really see what's going on, is not going to work with me. So Mayor, I'm sorry I had to go through that again. I hate to continue to go over this ground, but you know, I cannot allow, in my opinion, what I see to be duped on the citizens here at University Park. Since we have a executive session tonight, I will be brief by simply saying that I want to congratulate the Jackie Robinson West baseball team. I hope they have a great parade tomorrow. And I just want to say that we have a great baseball program also here in University Park, headed by Mr. Lawson, and his wife is the treasurer secretary, all around, do whatever needs to be done for our baseball program. We've had some really good kids come out of our baseball program also. So maybe one day we will see our baseball team in the World Series. So, and I would also like to thank Miss Simmons Franklin that was here for the Lions program, and this is another program that I think they went downstate last year, I think, right? So we have another excellent program, and it's a feeder to our high school program. So I want to thank them and all of the volunteers that support the kids. And that's the end of my comments, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Griffin?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Here and at home. I have to echo what Trustee Oscar Brown said. My colleague, I used to think was very astute. I have to wonder always about what he did in corporate life, yeah, right? We had, I'm talking Miss Burns, who had the 2 cars in her yard. We made a promise. It took us a little while. Her guardrail will be going up soon. The children of University Park who play in that toy lot or a lot, they need protection also. We had no funds to get it any other kind of way. They don't have no way of getting it. All they do is run off at the mouth, misconstrue, twist, and do everything they can. They won't hire our residents. I don't care what it looks like back there. They're not University Park residents, okay? My concern is University Park and its residents. I don't care what it looks like back there. Are they University Park residents? No, they're not. So I go along with the head tax. I don't care. If you looked at the paper, I forgot to bring it. One of the largest corporations in Atlanta, located here at University Park. They didn't care about the head tax. They leave in Atlanta to come in here. They didn't care about the head tax. So just keep talking, keep running on off at the mouth. If they thought it was so bad, they wouldn't have located here. Okay? I agree with all the road projects that we have. We have to do a better job. And I agree with you, Trustee Brown. I'm on board with whatever we can do for these residents, roads, and fix them, they need to be fixed. But we didn't have no other way of doing it. They don't have no way of doing it. But I noticed tonight the mayor said, yeah, we. Wait a minute, what we? You passed the tax, you all said no. But then now we gonna spend. We. You didn't want it, so why is it we? Yeah. No. I support that. This is not a pay-to-play fund. It's not a slush fund. Our residents deserve better. And if it costs, tax them somewhat, hey, I don't have no problem with that. One of the people from Bimble come up and just really, I mean, the stuff that she said, I mean, it was atrocious. Then she gets mad. 2 meetings ago, she comes up, threatens me, talks to the attorney like he talks to and tries to calm her down. She hollers at him and whatnot. Because our leader, our fearless leader, went back and told her to come up. The mayor. She was caught. No, it wasn't no lie. It was caught. You got caught. And when you got caught, then you got in my face. When you got caught, you got in my face. And it's, you know, this is the leadership we have. But we still gonna move the village forward, with or without you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You got a better plan? Come up with it. No, I'm not through. I'm not through. I give everybody their time. I'm not through. If you have a better plan, come up with it.
Y'all finish criticizing each other up there.
Can I finish, man? No, I tell you what, you need to go out.
Sir,
no, you need to go out. You need to go out.
Trustee, can you continue?
You need to go out.
That's been done all night. Please.
We pay taxes, we got rights.
You know what? No, you haven't talked
Just
while I'm
don't say
talking.
anything, please. Let him finish his comments, because we gotta get out here sometime tonight.
This is the CCC that was clapping when the lady told her that you irrelevant. This is what we got. We relevant. Our residents are relevant. This is what we got here. And we still gonna move the village forward. We're moving the village forward. And everybody have a blessed weekend.
Trustee Rudess.
I'll keep it real brief. I want to send my shouts out to Jackie Robinson West. Congratulations to the young man and the organization in its total. You know, it took them a long time to get there, but that's what happens when you invest in quality programs. And my last comment would be, do it now. Sometime later never comes.
Thank you. Trustee Larry Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. Also, I want to congratulate the Jackie Robinson West baseball program. Young men, I mean, it's incredible the poise and the professionalism that they showed. I saw probably all but maybe 1 or 2 games, and these guys have never rattled. Even in the face of defeat, they were gracious and they were professional. United States champion Little League baseball team is from Chicago. Wow, what a time. The other thing I want to talk about, just listening, we were talking about the guardrail over there on Circle Drive, and when I became a part-timer in this town from 1990 to 2005, I remember one of my first nights on patrol with my FTO, we went around Circle Drive, and we talked about that area. The stop sign there is, the former police chief lived right across the street from that park. And you have stop signs there. And it makes sense to put a guardrail there, because I would tell you, we have individuals who come around and those stop signs are disregarded.
They don't stop. I live on Circle.
Those stop signs are disregarded. And we have individuals who fly around there like there's no tomorrow. And I come that way periodically, and every time I come that way, somebody is running that stop sign. And God forbid that a kid is running out in the street or across the street and gets hit by a car. That's the last thing that we ever, so, you know, I think a guardrail in that regards would definitely help, but I think enforcing those stop signs would have even more, a better effect. I've always tried to be on the right side of every issue that affects the residents. Without, you know, of course, I want to see. I would like for this board to be probably more in tune with what we're doing, and have probably a better relationship with each other. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But I've always tried to be on the right side of issues, and I'm continuing to do that. I'm going to always vote my conscience, and I would be able to back up why I did or didn't vote on an issue, regardless of who I agree with or who I'm aligned with. If I don't believe that it's good for this town, I would not vote for it. And those are my comments. Also, I'm sorry, one more. School is in. Please watch out for these children. Support our youth programs. And we do have, as we stated earlier, we do have a baseball program has come a long, long way. And hopefully one day we'll be looking at University Park in a Little League World Series. Thank you.
Clerk D. Jones, did you want to say anything tonight?
Oh, thank you, Madam Mayor. I too would like to applaud the Jackie Robinson West. They did a phenomenal job, and I can not even imagine how terrified they are now with all of the attention. It's kind of like, I think we forget that they're 11, 12, and 13-year-olds, but it just goes to show that it does take a village to raise a child. And it seems like the whole city of Chicago has become that village in raising those kids and contributing to those funds and to this the process of not only baseball, but young men. You know, every day when I turn on the TV, my heart drops. All of the violence, all of the shooting, all of the anger. And we as a people, I mean every nationality, every race, every creed, we have got to find a way. Our board, our village, we have got to find a way to, as I say to each newly elected official on this board, I said, if we tried the 3 C's, we could get something done. And those C's are you communicate, you collaborate, and then you compromise. Nobody is right all the time. Nobody is wrong all the time. And taking a little quote from the Desiderata, even the dull and the ignorant, they too have their say. So let's not attack because we disagree. Let's not spread false information. Let's stick, I think if we, and it's gonna, you think it's bad now, with the election coming up, if we don't realize that the residents of this community are more important, it's more important to us to see what have you done for me. And you can't do anything alone. One vote on this board will not pass anything. It takes a collective effort. It takes us coming together and understanding we were elected by the people to preserve this Constitution, to preserve this corporation. Believe it or not, the Village of University Park is a corporation. The elected officials or the corporate officers that have been entrusted to do a job. And it's just as important that the residents allow the people that they elected, whether you voted for them or not, somebody did, a majority did, voted for these people, allow us to do our jobs, then hold us accountable at the polls. A lot of criticism will not remove an elected official. So let's try and think about what we say. I probably won't say it again until the next time. You can't unbreak a glass and you can't unring a bell. Words hurt. Words are there. Once said, you can apologize, but it doesn't eliminate the incident. So let's love each other and let's work with our kids and let them take an example, I would say, from not only the Jackie Robinson All-Stars, we have some All-Stars, our kids right here in this community. And let's start listening to what our kids are saying, because they see and they hear what we're saying. So let's take a little time, listen to them, and let's start raising our kids. Thank you.
I too have to give my hat off to the Jackie Robinson organization. I followed it, I looked at the game, I looked at the discipline, I looked at the love of those children, and they are examples for us. It's sad to see a child, they got along. They didn't agree, but they got along. And they put that team together, they made it work. Nobody wanted to be big chief, nobody wanted to be the coach. The coach is the coach, the first baseman was the first baseman, everybody stayed in their lane. And they worked collectively and made it a success. And that's the way, and I hope that these classes that our trustees go to, all of us go to, that we really just don't go there to sit in a class and write our name on something and get a certificate. We really need to learn what we're going to do and practice these things that we're going to these classes about. It's very important. I like to first give my condolences also to the Johnson's family. Mr. Johnson in the past, he was a legacy here in the village for many, many years. And also to Mr. David Neal, he lost his mother. And I like to give my condolences to him. And right now, we should be celebrating and being happy because of the village of University Park is now a college town. That is something to celebrate. We should be very, very proud of that and happy that we are a college town in University Park. And as far as the lady that from Bimba, I did ask her what did she say, and she said it wasn't that she said we were irrelevant, she said the statement was irrelevant, and I asked her that because of what happened and what was said. And as far as the charge, I did not say that. But people can say what they want. I can't put things in people's mouths or take it out, but that's okay. Because when you sit in the leadership, it's what happens. You know, you take the good and the bad and the ugly. But we need to be cognizant of what we do say and how we take it. Some of us have different opinions, and that's okay. But I don't hate you. And I love all of you, and you can't do anything about it. And I'll constantly say that. But I'm here for a purpose. I'm here because I'm devoted. I'm here because I've devoted 17 years of volunteerism before I even ran for any office. I love what I do. I love who I'm with and what it's about. Our babies, we need to be prime examples for our children. We need to show leadership and intelligence. We don't need to be bickering. Be professional. Be argumentative behind doors, not in front. And it is our right, if we want, as Trustee Payton said, he wants to see specifics. Some of us are more detailed than others, and I understand that. Because I'm a very typology type person. I like to see structure. And, you know, 1996, we had these roads. We had $10 million for University Park's repairman. Didn't do anything. In 1996, we were supposed to have gotten that road fixed. In 1996, and Mr. Bud Fleming, which I will take my hat off to, said, Mayor Covington, now you're a mayor, please get that money. And only was left with $7 million. And that's what we've been using to repair these roads. We have a capital plan. We just had to submit it. I was asked to submit our capital projects. I submitted that to the various people so that we can get these fundings. It's just not one or two people working. It's all of us in our own way, in our own fashion. We're all working. We're trying to get it done. It's not a collective effort by 2 or 3 or 4 people. We're all working to do this. They might tell you they are. No. Like the clerk said, we can't just do this independently. I cannot do anything independently. And some of us are doing it. It's illegal, but they're doing it. But we're not supposed to do that. And again, that's why I said I apologize for last week. Friday, that should have been an open meeting. I don't know where Mr. Lanier got his directive from. That should have been open about the medical marijuana. And that will not happen again. Whatever I have to do, I will do that. And I said, I heard there's a bill on the floor trying to sue the President of the United States. I totally feel his drama. He is the President of the United States. He's got his finger put in his face. He's been told he's a liar. He's been disrespected to no regards, and that's terrible. Anyone else that been treason. But not now, because he's a brother. Things have changed. Facts change when it's a different creed. As far as University Park and Industrial Park, we do need to qualify. And I've noticed good too from Mrs. Warren's statistics, 96% from the high school are graduates. 96% of our kids are graduates. So I don't want anyone to think when they see all these signs plastered all over the village of GD, we're not that tight. 90% of our people are college graduates, and all the graduates from high school, majority. And various income is $50,000. So we're not illiterate, stupid people. And I don't like to trigger it like that. We are a college town now. People are prominent, professional people, and that's the way I want it to come off. And that's the way I will stand for whatever is right. And also our department heads, it's their job. We're paying them thousands of dollars to do due diligence on their departments. If they see a hole, that should have been repaired. We should have waited 2 years, 1 year. You see it, fix it. And I am too for the rails. That's okay. The safety is everything. But why are we waiting all these years? Why did we wait all these years to have a legislative committee. Committees only advise and commend. They're just literally, it's like a takeover. But why the same 4 people were here when Alma County was here, and we did not have a legislative committee? They respected him. I'm speaking, sir. I respected him, and I wish, and his wishes as the mayor. As the mayor, I've been totally disrespected. We did not go into his office. I didn't get keys to my office. I never know. I can't even go to my office now and have a meeting privately. Ordering things there that I didn't even know about. Things are just out of control, and we need to get it back. I'm not upset with them. Everybody wants power. Let's just be who we are and whose we are. Let's be respected. Let's make this village what it needs to be. Let's be obedient to God first. And then maybe we can see some sense of what we do. I work with a group of 4 people every day. It's collective. White, black, Asian, Hispanic, Oriental, all of them, Indian. But guess what? We all come from a different walk of life, and we get together and we make things happen. We have difference of opinion. Nobody's mad at each other. We have lunch together. It's fine. And that's the way it should be here. And things should be done proper and in order. As Ms. Williams came here, why is it this? Why is it that? I've asked for constructive work, Mr. Lanier. I've asked for us to have an HR person, which is very, very important. We don't get that. We need structure here in the village, not other people in different departments doing things that's really illegal as far as I'm concerned. Certain people should have privy to certain information. Everybody cannot do HR work, and I've asked that to be put in the budget. So I would hope that everybody would keep their heads up, have confidence in us, and it is going to get ugly because campaign time is there, but just be truthful. You don't have to bring anybody down. Just say what you're doing. Say what your qualifications is. And the word think, and that's my last closing remarks. People don't think. A man sort of said, what do you think about people say things and you listen? Think when people bring things, process it, and I bet you'll get the facts for yourself. Don't listen. Everybody's so close up on the picture they can't see what it is. Listen, stand back, process it, understand it, ask questions. Always do that, and you will be successful in your thinking. And we should do things in order as it is supposed to be done. Haphazardly, no. You just don't do, hope we got this, let's put this on. We're going to get this, we're going to make this happen. Are we doing it in order? Are we doing it legally? Are we doing it correctly? That's all we ask. Do things in order, and everybody has a right to their opinion, and don't get upset with them. We need to stop all the anger. Where is that coming from? Some of the same people up here are the ones I was working with, Trustee Griffin. My house. Worked with them. Helped the writers, my husband, critiqued his work. He worked with us. We worked with him. He worked and said, put everything, I worked with him. Trustee Osborne, same thing. I encouraged them. Trustee Perez encouraged me. Mary Brown encouraged me. Same thing with him. We've all worked together at some point. We should get back to that.
Yep.
We really should get back to that and get all this off your shoulders, and let's make this village what it should be. We have a college town, people. I don't know if is that sinking in, 4-year college. We should be on the news like Jackie Robinson. We should be. You hear the moaning and groaning. See that right there? Let that go. Let it go. And be a big adult. The children show up adults. That's bad. And at this point, I'm going to end my comments, and we're going to have an executive session. And the purpose of the executive session is pending litigation. Thank you all for, I'm sorry.
So moved.
Motion
to adjourn. To go into executive session. I'll second.
Second by him, and thank you all for coming out tonight. Appreciate you, love you, and need you. Thank you.